to press go live once it goes live.
Okay, perfect. Then let me.
We should be good. And as we're waiting for that, let me just play the quick intro video.
Yeah, I'll show you how to get it.
I usually do the top down one. So never mind. We'll skip.
Do I need to go live right now?
Yeah, let's go live on Instagram, and then you'll be good to go. And then,
all right. I went live on Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, we should be good. Rocking and rolling. So what is up, guys? We are talking about today the Wholesaling Syndicate live boiler room, how that's going to work. We're literally just a couple days out. It has been flying by. It's it's nuts. But yeah, it's here. If you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you go to freewholesalinglive.com, grab them. It's free. It's going to be the most value-packed free event you've ever been to, and it's even going to have more value than a lot of those paid events out there. So we have hundreds of people coming in. Excited to see more people come in and trying to get as many people as we can. But I'm joined today with Nelson over at Newly. Nelson, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Thank you for having me. And I'm super excited about the event. It's Newly's first event to get out to. And my thinking is, why not do it in Texas first? So I'm super amped up, man.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys showing up. And I think everyone's very excited about the leads. I know I'm excited. I think that's probably the part I'm most excited about is doing the boiler room, because there's really nothing like getting in a room, with hundreds of people and making calls together and closing deals and seeing people make their first calls and get their first deals. And it's the energy is going to be crazy. I'm excited. That's probably I'm pumped.
No, man, I'm working to make sure that we've got everything we need for it. My dream come true, right? Is somebody gets on the phone and gets a deal under contract right away. But, I'm also realistic, so I know how things go. But man, I'm super excited. I want to see people get on the phone and just get those first jitters out of the way and start making some phone calls. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm confident we're going to get one. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get at least a few deals, because we have hundreds of people making calls, and we have literally the best closers in the industry. They're going to be there walking around helping people close deals. So someone can be brand new. All you got to do is make one call, raise their hand. If they get stuck, and someone's going to run over and help them. And it's really all you got to do. Just pick up the phone, dial, and of course show up.
There you go, man. That's all you got to do. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, I'm super excited. And Friday we're doing a mixer. I don't know if you'll be in town on Friday.
I'll probably get there a little late, but I'm going to try and make the mixer. I'm going to try and make everything I can. We're leaving at like 4:00 here, so I'll probably get there like maybe towards the end of it, but I'll definitely show up.
Love it. Awesome, man. And then real quick, do you want to give everyone a quick intro on who you are and who Newly is, and for people who might not know yet?
Yeah, man. So I'm Nelson with Newly. If you've seen the commercials, then thank you very much. If you signed up for us, we're super happy to have you and glad you're there. If you haven't, then please come and join us. And so just a little bit about my background. I started in wholesaling around 2018 and investing when things didn't go right, when I was buying my own personal property. And my agent that helped me buy this house, he was like, hey man, if you ever want to make extra money and you get into real estate, you should learn about this thing called wholesaling. And he was like, you'll probably make like $2 or $3 grand. It's not nothing crazy, but it could be extra money. And I thought to myself at the time, hey, $2,000 or $3,000 a month extra would be lovely. And I remember calling him, telling him about some deals I was doing. And he was just like, I don't know if that doesn't sound right. But anyways, long story short, I did my first deal for like $75K, closed that out. I started my journey wholesaling after that. I've done all the way up to 7 figures and come back down, because that's how the market is. So I'm not going to be with a guy that tells you, go buy Ferraris, Lambos. I want you to be realistic with your money. And through my journey of working in real estate, I decided to open up and launch Newly, because I want other investors to understand how to market, how to get on the phone with people. We want to cut the fat off of having to skip trace, having to pull lists, having to have a dialer, having to have a VA. We want you to be able to get on the phone with people really quick. And that's what Newly offers you to do with our package, right? We give you 25 leads, motivated sellers, and allow you to get on the phone and start closing out deals. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about Newly. And we're looking to grow. We're only 5 months old. We're growing, and we, the sky's the limit, and that's what we want to do. We want to just help investors start. And if you're a investor who's been doing it for a while, we have PPL program, right? So you can start with us as a new investor, then you can scale up your package. And then when you're ready to like blow it out the water, we can take you there as well. So you can really scale with us.
I love that. No, that's awesome. Definitely needed. And I mean, yeah, having leads ready to go, that's literally half the job. So
Yeah.
but I love it, man. So tell us about that first deal you got. I mean, what was it like? I mean, guy told you you're only gonna make a couple grand and make 75. I mean, how did that feel?
That
And
was awesome, man. So I started in real estate. I started virtual because whenever I was learning, we were buying this house that we're in now. And me and my wife were living in two separate places, and this buying this house was turning into a nightmare. So every day I started watching back then, like Jerry Norton, Max Maxwell, Hot Wholesale, Toddy, and those guys were just kind of really taken off. And I was like, I can do this because I was already a recruiter. So my job was already to call people. Do you want to leave your job? How much do you make at your job? How can I help you? So I was literally like, I can have the same conversation just about their house. And so the house that I first did was out in like Arkansas or something like that. And yeah, I just got really lucky with the deal, man. Called the lady. I was able to put it under contract. Then she ghosted me, and then I got her back on the phone. Then a guy tried to call her and screw me. I hope that's not a bad word, but like, take me off the
yeah, I
deal.
cuss all the time.
And she called me when he called her, and she was like, "Hey, what's this guy talking about?" And I had built rapport with her, so she told me clear as day. I never forget. She's like, "Look, I don't care what you do, as long as it's not illegal and you get this house sold for me." So from there, I was really solid with her. We took it to the closing table, and I just happened to do great on that deal because she was a lawyer. Her husband was a doctor. She had this house with her first husband who had passed away, and her new husband was like, we can keep the house because it had a lot of memories tied to it and things like that. Well, they never got rid of the house, and the house had gotten flooded. The house had gotten mold. It was just horribly beat up, and it was a really nice big one-story house in a neighborhood with the golf course and all that. But it had just gotten so ransacked, they didn't know what to do with it. So we picked it up for like 90, and we wholesaled it for whatever the difference is there, 160 something, 170 or something like that. And we got to the closing table, and she still owed like $8,000 in back taxes. So of course, in my mind, I was like, in the videos, they say you don't pay these things, but I was smart enough to know like there's a lot of wiggle room on this deal. It's my proof of concept. We went ahead and paid the taxes for her, closed that deal out. Funny enough, I sold it to a lady that's from right around where I'm from, but she had just moved up there, and they were going to buy the house themselves, fix it up, and live in it. And so that's why we were able to do so well on it, because they weren't trying to flip the home. They were buying it to live in it. So yeah, that was my first deal, all virtual, got boots on the ground to get out there and take pictures, marketed it on Facebook like the YouTube videos told me, and found a buyer and closed it up. And yeah, that was the proof of concept that I needed to make that deal happen.
I love that. What were you doing before wholesaling?
I was working at in retail, big box retail. I was a district HR, district talent acquisition partner. So I had been doing that for a while. I hire people, set up jobs, and get people from A to B. So that's what I was doing. And my last job doing that was with Google. And then I left Google and did this full time.
I love it, man. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's cool because like a lot of people, they come and they like don't have good jobs, but it sounds like you had pretty decent jobs too. So it sounds like you're probably making decent money. And then, but what's it been like, or how was that transition? When were you able to like, after that first deal, did you go full time into it? Did you leave your job, or what was that transition like?
No, after the first deal, I kept working, and I just was like, all right, well, now how do I make this continuous? It took me 3 months to get that first deal. And so now I needed to learn, how do I do this over and over and over again? So the truth of the story is, it took me 3 months to get that deal. Then the next deal probably didn't come for another 3 or 4 months, because I got lucky, right? If you call enough people, you'll find low hanging fruit. So it took me a while to get another deal, and I was still working. And then I had some things where my father got sick and he ended up passing away. And so that was kind of really the catalyst of what helped me leave my job, because I wanted to be able to spend more time and do some of the things I need to do with him, because he was living out of the city. He was in Dallas. I'm in Houston. And so I think kind of things came to a head, and I was able to leave my job. I had done that deal and had some other ones in the works. And once I left my job and started focusing on him, it allowed me the time to build out some systems, get some processes, have a cold caller, and kind of build like a flow of how I was going to do it. And then from there, I just really went head on and started going crazy. I mean, coming out of 2020, like going into 2020, if you guys remember that time, the market was hot. Like you could pick up a mobile home and sell it for $100,000 or something. So luckily I hit a great streak in the 2020, 2021 side of things. And then it's slowed down in 2023 some, and then 2024, it's been mainly getting this off the ground. But yeah, man, I in the midst of wholesaling, Google called me and I was like, man, I got to take that opportunity because not everybody gets a chance to work there. So I worked there for a year, just a little bit under a year. And then if I wanted to stay there, I would have had to move to Austin, and we had just bought a house in Houston and that wasn't going to be feasible. So I was like, you know what? I got this real estate thing down and I think I'm pretty good at it. And so I just put my head down, man, and I've been working, and it hasn't been, all great. It's not all rainbows. It's a job and it's still a grind, but I love it. I truly do. And when you like something or you love something, you figure it out.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love that. So what advice would you have for new people that maybe they've heard about wholesaling? They're kind of where you were when you're watching the videos and stuff, and they wondering if it's legit or if they should take the leap. Maybe they're afraid to make that first call. What advice would you have for those people?
You know what? Don't get analysis paralysis is one thing I would say. Like, I'm a person of action. So if you've been watching the videos and you just are looking for a place to start, I think Brent Daniels says it best: just talk to people. You start talking to people right away. And as you have those conversations, you'll learn, right? You don't need to know how to find a title company. You don't need to know how to get boots on the ground right away. You don't need to know how to do the fix and flip of a property. And you don't need to know about closing and title. The first thing you need to know is how to talk to people on the phone. So the advice that I would give them is, start talking to people, having the conversation, and put them first. At the end of the day, this is really a sales job, right? And even when I was recruiting, I couldn't call people with the idea of, I've got 3 jobs I got to fill. Do you want to take this job? I have to talk to them in the sense of, what's going on with your other company? What would make you want to leave that job? If you came over here, what would that look like? And what kind of change would that be, right? So it's the same conversation when you're talking to sellers, not, hey, I want to sell this home because I'm gonna make $10,000. It's, where are you going to be moving at when you leave here? How much time do you need? When we sell this, is there anything left on the mortgage, and how much do you need to get from A to B? Do you need a U-Haul? So you've got to really put people first and look at it, how to solve a problem. And if you start doing that, the money will flow in. So I would tell them, start talking to people, make sure to put them first. And if you do close a deal, all that money needs to go back into marketing. Don't get flashy with it.
I love that. Now, it's a lot of the same exact advice that I give. We have the Wholesaling Syndicate podcast. I literally have multiple solo episodes breaking that down. It's like some of the same stuff I repeat time and time again. Yeah, man, there's some gold nuggets there for sure.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I think that's a big one. Let's start with that one. I think how you mentioned it too. You had a great rapport with the first lady. We got the 75K. But it's you were solving a problem, and a lot of, when you think of it that way, it just totally reframes it when you're coming from a mindset of service and trying to add value and help people and trying to actually listen and see if you can solve their problem, if you can help them. Like, one, it comes across on the phone. It might be, people might think it doesn't, but like, if you're desperate, you're only caring about that paycheck. It comes across. It's called commission breath. Common term in sales. Yeah. But yeah, it's just you can hear it, and it's how people get in slumps. But when you just focus on like the other person on the line, and how can you add value? How can you help them? It's like, it totally reframes it and it makes it so much easier.
No, it really does, man. And I would even say it's so visible. It's so visible to the point where the last deal that I did that was a subject to, when I talked to the lady, she had already talked to 3 other people who tried to sell her on a subject too. But I guess she could smell the commission breath over the phone, and it just didn't work out, for those guys. But I think what you're saying is 100%, right. You got to put people first, and they can see when you're trying to do that. They can feel it.
For sure. And I love too how you mentioned like just not needing to know every step of the way. I call it like you're driving a car, it's pitch black out. You don't need to see the whole road, but if you have those headlights, you just need to see a little bit in front of you, and you can get wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But people just get like so focused on all the extra stuff, like what ifs, I call it. What if this happens, or what if I get sued, or what if this, or what
Yeah.
if I didn't have my LLC, and just you just get trapped. Like I said, it's analysis paralysis, and it's so easy to get trapped in those what ifs. But I always challenge people to just reframe it. Like, what if it works?
There you
What
go.
if you just take
Exactly.
action? You just start it. It's I think Tony Robbins says it's all about the pot. Like your quality of your life is determined by the questions you ask yourself. And like, so when you start to ask more positive questions and
Mhm.
like just take action, like you said, a lot of those questions, you won't have time to think of those questions if you just take action.
Very true. Very, very true, man. It's you know, you always hear people say put yourself in other folks' shoes, and it's just a saying. It's just a saying. But when you start to talk to people about their home, it's the biggest purchase of most people's lifetime. And so when you call them and you're talking to them about their home, you truly have to put yourself in their shoes and think, how would you want someone who most likely just called you out of the blue, or you put your information into a system and you're wanting to talk to an expert in this field? How would you feel if that person called you, and how would you want them to talk and handle you? You have to truly put yourself in those shoes. And when you start to do that, you think, well, I wouldn't ask this person, you know, how much can I give you for the home, and when are you going to be out today? You know what I'm saying? Like, you, because you would be like, if someone asked me that, I'd be like, I don't even want to talk to you, because when you're talking to these people, some people just want to sell a home because they're selling a home, they're moving, you know what I mean? But when you're talking to people and their significant other passed, they're going through a divorce, maybe mom and dad passed and they inherited the home and they have a feel of the home, they're connected to it. You have to take in all these things into account. You can't just be calling them thinking, how can I fastly go from A to B? It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, I have the same mindset for sure. So I think 80% or not more of like my conversation is just asking questions and
Yeah.
listening. So it's I'm just asking questions, actively listening, and then trying to know the whole story and just see, what if is there a deal there? What can we do? Can I help? What kind of solutions do we have? Is it a regular wholesale deal? Is it subject to? Do we do creative financing, a hybrid, innovation? Like what's the best play for them and what they're trying to accomplish? And it just, like I said, yeah, it just totally reframes the conversation. It makes it a whole lot easier. It's a lot less friction, and you're just having a conversation like we are now.
There you go. It's so true. It's so true.
But no, I think that's great, man. So what are some of the mistakes that you see a lot of wholesalers make, and when they're first starting?
I think, the mistake that they make is that mistake number one, I think, is they saw this online or they saw this on Instagram, and they're expecting when they get on the phone with these first, for instance, let's take Newly. We see a lot of different things happen, but I think one of the things that we see happen sometimes is with newer people is they think, I bought these leads, I got 25 of them, I'm expecting to walk away with a deal. And that's just not the case all the time, or it can't be the case for everybody. Because when you get on the phone, you have to have the leads, and the talking to people is step one, right? There's 20 steps to this. You got to go from A to Z. The leads are A. You still have to know how to do B, C, everything else. So I think the mistake that some people make is they're setting an expectation that they're going to go in there and just knock this out the gate right away. And then when they don't, they're hard on themselves, and they may quit, or they're expecting when they talk to somebody, that person's just going to be ready to go at the best price. And they're not going to have to, the negotiation is only going to be from 100 to 90, and then they'll get them to sell a contract and they can sell it for 10 grand. I think, that's one of the mistakes they make, is just thinking that, it's going to fall all in line for them. And then I think the other mistake is that they're scared. They scare themselves, like we talked about earlier, just analysis paralysis. What do I do next? What do I do next? And then when I get them here, then what do I do? And when I get them here, and what do I do? And to be honest, there's so many great people online who have laid out all those steps for you. You're probably one of them. And throughout your podcast and things like that, there's so many people who laid those steps out for you. Just when you get to the next step, Google it, YouTube it, whatever, you'll find it. So I think those two are it. And then I honestly think the third one is you close the deal, and then you made 15, let's say 15 grand. Well, you take 5 of it and you go on a vacation, you take another 5 of it and you buy a car, watch, whatever, and then you have 5 of it left that you're saving because you're like, I need some money. I got to live life. I got to pay bills. And now you have no money for marketing.
Right.
So I think those are some of the mistakes that I see people do.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, I think one of the big things I tell people too is like when you're starting, it's on hard moves. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have money for marketing, most likely, or systems, or automations, or CRMs. And, even if you just put like 30% aside, like off each deal, and just start reinvesting into the business, it's like slowly going to get easier and easier. You're going to have leads, you're going to have systems, and it's going to be like people are going to start coming to you. And it's not like, you're starting from absolute zero every month again. And like, fuck, I got to make money now. But
and also people, I don't think guys really understand too, is your taxes. The government is not going to let you make $200,000-$400,000 this year and not pay something on it. So you also have to set aside money for that, because unless you're just going to be buying properties and exchanging out that money for another property, you're going to owe somebody something.
Yeah, no, I wish I knew that when I started.
Yeah, we're all learning that. We're all learning that lesson.
Yeah, but so we got a couple questions on Instagram. Looks like Easy57 said, "How do you guys go about with lead generation?" So I'm guessing that's probably a question. If you want to clarify, we can either both answer it, or I don't know if you need specifically for Newly. I'm going to assume he's talking specifically for Newly. How are you guys dealing with lead generation? What's working best for you? And what tips do you have for people on lead gen?
So, I'll just speak clearly for Newly, because I can't speak on everything. But so Newly, our platform, our basic and our pro platform, the way that we're generating leads is we have a lot of outbound activity going out that we monitor coming in and try to vet and clear everything. And then also we have ads that are running, so we drop those leads in as well. So that's how we're getting our leads for our system. And then if we have our PPL program, where we bring in the highest quality leads that we can possibly bring you out there from online ads, and very high vetted, if they're outbound, very high vetted outbound leads. So that's the best way that we're bringing in leads. And I tell everybody, my father-in-law has his own company. He says, when you cut off marketing, you kill your business. So that's the way we do it. And I think, the way that my mindset works is we try to price ourselves and put ourselves at a price point where you don't have to worry about stopping your marketing, because that's what was killing my business. So that's how our leads work. And that's our mindset behind our pricing as well.
I love that. Yeah, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, over a decade now. And it took me longer than it should have to realize that, like, marketing needs to eat first, because if marketing doesn't need to eat first, like, it's your numbers are gonna be all over the place. Good month, bad month, good month, bad month, couple good months, bunch of bad months. But like I had to like literally look at the numbers, and at the end of the year, and I'm trying to get ready to pay Uncle Sam, and where'd all the money go? I'm like, wow, these months I did really good. And I'm like, oh, well, if you look at the months before that, like, 30, 60 days before that, I spent way more on marketing. I had a bigger marketing budget, and then I stopped, and then like,
it's like a car, you know what I mean? You're in a car, and it's either going to go, you'll eventually get where you're going, but it's going to be a tough, slow, bumpy ride. But if you just keep the car going, you'll get there a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot smoother.
Yeah, 100%. And then I hope I don't butcher your name. It says M Carrot Candle, I believe, said TikTok leads, and says, so TikTok leads or Facebook leads? Do you have a preference, TikTok or Facebook leads?
We're not running anything on TikTok. It's been a nightmare trying to get things set up with them and their ad department. For some reason, it's always like they have some kind of hiccup. So we're working through mainly YouTube, Facebook, and some Google as well. So that's where we're at. But yeah, TikTok, we've been not so lucky to work with them.
Yeah, they shut my ad accounts down all the time. Like if you don't pay them,
okay.
Yeah, if you don't run enough ads, I don't know what the threshold is, but like I've tested it a couple of times. Like, I'll throw some money, see how it does, and then like I don't know, I start do something else and forget about it, and then like come back and like, oh, your ad account's been permanently disabled. I'm like,
I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, I got to make a whole new one, and like now I got to go and redo all the, all the pixels and everything. I'm like, that's some bullshit. Like, let me pay you. And like, I don't know, they don't make it easy for sure.
No, we haven't even been able to we've tried to do everything with them, and it's like every time we're waiting on somebody to call us back because they couldn't link something with our account, and then we try to do it, and then this happened. So I don't know, I gave up on them, and we're just doing what we know.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, I've heard people are doing well with it. I don't like their ad platform at all. But
yeah.
maybe I'll try it again at some point. But yeah, no, great question. You guys have any other questions? Let us know, whether it's just about wholesaling, whether it's about marketing, whether it's about sales, or about the event, or about how the boiler room is going to work. You know, we're very lucky that Newly is going to be donating leads, so you guys are going to be able to come to a free event. You're going to have the chance to call leads. We're going to have a bunch of different sponsors donating leads, so literally everyone's going to get there. Everyone that gets there is going to get leads. We're going to be able to close deals, make money together. You're going to be able to learn, network. We literally have hundreds of people coming from all over, literally from other countries, which is wild.
Oh, wow, man. That's awesome, dude. And just because, it's our first time, I know that you've done this a couple times. Do you do this quarterly, or do you do this biannually, or how does this kind of work?
Good question. I'm playing by ear. I mean, I get, the goal was quarterly. So we did our first one back last year, February. So like a year and a half ago, we did our first one. Didn't know what to expect. I mean, we had smaller events, like little mixers, meetups before that, and didn't really do well. I'm like, I'm going to throw a big one, see how it goes. And we did it. It was great. We had like 100 people, and like, wow, this is awesome. We had speakers, and everybody had a great time. And we're like, great, we're going to do it. And then we figured we're just going to do it once a year. Like we did next year. Then I kind of got the bug again. And like, let's just do it quarterly, and we'll do smaller ones. But I don't know, every time, my wife she puts all the stuff together in the back end, and does a lot of the heavy lifting. And she's like, no, we're not going to do a big one. But every time I want to do a big one, and I'm like, we're going to do the biggest one ever this time. And
man.
I was decided to. So we did another. So we've probably done like 8 events now.
Awesome.
Or maybe like 6. I think this will be 7. But yeah, we've done them. They've been growing and growing, which is good. And then we've had another big one in February, and then we had another one. So this will be the 3rd one for the year. I think this is definitely gonna be the last one for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. We'll probably might do a smaller mixer meetup. So after this event, we're gonna sit down and figure out what the game plan is going forward. So I think it's going to be, I'm gonna stick to it and just do one big one a year, and then do a couple quarterly ones that are more like, less speakers, just more like deep dive, less people, and just kind of like go deeper with those people that are there. But we'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna take a vacation because I haven't taken a vacation in quite a while after the event, and just kind of map how everything's going to look going forward.
Not a problem, man. Well, I'm a very I want to say loyal and traditional person. So this is my first time getting out there. So, next time you guys do it, count me in. We want to make sure that we're part of these events for sure. It's our launching pad. Yeah,
no, it's huge. And I really appreciate, you guys doing it. So it's huge. And we definitely like the same way, loyal, want to stay with the same people. And especially when you do good work, we're going to keep on rocking with you. And maybe it's a PBO or CBO. Quick question as well. Do you still have time if you can invite me in? If you want to go to the event, just go to freewholesalelive.com. Just go there. You can grab your tickets, register now. It's free. If you know anybody else that wants to go, spread the word. I mean, I got a 14,400 square foot venue. It's massive. I went to the big one we did in February, and at the time I thought it was massive, and it's about maybe 2,000 square feet. And I went back there, checking it out the other day, and it looks real tiny compared to the new one. So the more the better. We're trying to get as many people as we can. We have some amazing speakers coming out. They're going to give a tremendous amount of value. And we
really do, man. You really have some great speakers. I'm trying to figure out myself how I'm going to be able to speak to everybody on the floor, and trying to speak to the speakers, trying to speak with you. I'm figuring how I'm going to try and get around this thing.
Yeah,
it's going to be a big event. I can't wait.
Yeah. One of the big things for me, I get to be an attendee too. I mean, I say turn around, do stuff, but I get to meet people, network. And I find the more events like this I go to, the more deals I do, the more cool people I meet, and just it magnifies. So highly recommend going. Whether it's a plane, boat, car, swim,
it's
whatever.
Free, man. You can't beat going in there, meeting these people, networking. And I will say, the other thing that I think people don't do is they don't, again, another saying is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. And it's really true. I'm able to do some amazing things just because of the people that I've networked with and met. And you'll be surprised that you can have a JV deal fall in your hand, because you may live in Oklahoma, but you came to this event in San Antonio, and you might run into a deal where the guys in San Antonio, boom, you got boots on the ground because you met someone there. now you got somebody to take pictures from you. And then that guy may tell you, hey, I've got a buyer actually for this. And now you're JV in your first deal because you have a relationship. So I really think your network is your net worth. It's a really true saying.
Yeah, and especially in real estate. I mean, yeah, it's
it's not a big world like people think it is.
No, that's one of the big things you talk about too, is just making sure you operate with integrity, and like you only get one reputation, and it's like word gets around. It's a lot smaller thing, even just like nationally. Like it's like everybody kind of seems that it's I forget what it's I think we're 5 degrees of separation from everyone. There's that theory, but I think real estate we're like 1 or 2 at the most. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I love it, man. So yeah, I'm super excited. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Any final closing thoughts that you want to share with people? Any tips for new people just getting started?
I would say take action. Is the step that I would say is take action. And that's what Newly was created for. Newly was made so you don't have to worry about, again, getting a list pulled. You don't have to worry about who's going to skip trace the list. You don't have to worry if I need a cold caller. You don't have to worry if I need to go, what dialer should I get? We literally cut all that fat off. We're saving you $1,200, $1,500, $1,800 a month. So you don't have to have all those pieces. You literally just have to take action by calling people. And that's how you get in this. There's no other way to do a deal. If you send them a mailer, you got to get on the phone with them. You know what I'm saying? If they raise their hand and they send you an email, you're going to have to get on the phone with them. If you're doing SMS, you're going to have to get on the phone with them. So there's no way around this other than talking to people is what I would say. So take an opportunity, take action, get out there and start making phone calls and talking to people right away.
I love it. And what's the best way for people to connect with you, to learn more about what you're doing and learn more about Newly?
Yeah, so you can Newly _REI. It's we're on Instagram. You can go there, or you can go to newly.com, and it's spelled right behind me, NEWLEEY.com. You can go there. You'll see reviews and testimonials from other people. You can read and see kind of what we do. There's YouTube video on there that breaks down how Newly works. And so, yeah, it's, you can come and talk to us there, send us an email, or you can hop on the Instagram and send us a message, and we'll get back to you right away. And that's the best way to connect with us. And yeah, man, like I said, just take an action.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to seeing you at the event, man. Looking forward to seeing everybody else too. And yeah, if you guys have any questions we didn't get to, definitely appreciate all the questions. I'm gonna make sure I go back and respond to them after.
I think there's one right here. I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Avi says, yo, how do you guys find deals without a deal software or CRM, or should I invest in PropStream or go high level? Yeah, Avi. So that's why with Newly, you don't need, PropStream is a great way to have find information so that you can go after a deal. We kind of help you cut through that, right? So we provide the seller's information, their phone number, whatever, for the leads that you do want. And you can put them in your CRM, which would be a Go High Level or Podio or whatever you want to do. So what we do is we go out there, we put the marketing out, we bring back the interest on our platform, and then we allow you to go out there and talk to those people that had that interest. So we kind of are really trying to cut through all of that. PropStream, nothing negative to say about them, still a great platform, but they don't provide you the people necessarily. They provide you the data so you can get a hold of the people. We're trying to provide you the people.
I love that. No, that's a great point. Yeah. And then, yeah, there's plenty of free CRMs out there too. So yeah, definitely I recommend using a CRM, whether it's a free one, you're just starting out. If you have a little bit more money to invest, hit me up about Investor Plug. But yeah, there's so many good free ones out there. And there's like, you really could just, start if you don't have a budget. There's so many different ways to do it. If you check out the YouTube channel, we have a bunch of free training videos on literally how to start with nothing. We just put a school group together too, where I organized all the training. So yeah, if you need any help, reach out. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good information on YouTube, on my channel, a bunch of other channels. So yeah, it's out there. And if you need anything, just reach out. Always happy to help.
Yes, sir.
But I love it, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. We'll definitely do this again soon.
All right, man. Thank you so much for having me.